And here we go. Empowerment. Empowerment. Where we at in Canada? Give me your title.
I'm the empowerment. What is it? Empowerment director, managing director.
Yes, in Toronto.
Toronto, Canada.
So excited. So Natasha's she's always on, she's always helping. We try to be here as much as possible. But I want to go ahead and intro Abby. Are you ready, Abs?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Or Natasha, do you have anything that you want to share before we get started?
I am just so excited, and I can't even begin to tell you how appropriately timed this topic is. So I'm like, pen, hand, paper here. I'm ready to go.
I am too. I'm so excited. Always excited when Abby speaks. Always excited to feel her energy, see her face. She is an amazing person. Not only is she an amazing financial professional, but she's an amazing person, an amazing friend. So I'm excited that I get to introduce her today. I feel honored to introduce my sweet friend today. So I am going to read your bio because it was sent to me, but I'm going to let you know that I'm going to improv a little bit. Since I know you, I'm just going to add my 2 cents. Is that okay with you?
Go for it, girl. Go, yes.
I'm like, I was reading it. I was like, I'm going to throw some stuff in there since, because I love her so much. But I'm excited because if you didn't read yet, the topic for today is eliminating money anxieties. And y'all know, if you know me, I love all things money and financial stability. So I know this topic is right on time for a lot of people. The holidays are coming up, New Year's coming up. Everybody wants to get their budgets and all of those things together. So Abby doesn't even know how on time she is with this message, and I'm so excited. So my sister Abby Bermudez. I need to put my phone on Do Not Disturb and my computer. Sorry, guys. Okay, my friend Abby Bermudez from the East Coast, Rhode Island, Providence, right? My girl, she's Puerto Rican. Yes, and she owns it and she wears it, okay? Wears it proudly, and I love it so much. That's where we connect at. But she's been married for 17 years now to her high school sweetheart, and they are such a beautiful couple. I love it so much. She is the mother of 2 beautiful children. Her son is 15. He'll be 16 October 31st. Ask me how I know, because like I said, it's my sister. Her daughter is 11. They are her reason for everything that she does. She graduated in 2017 with a bachelor's in administrative leadership, and is currently 4 courses away from her MBA program. Okay, sis, come on with the credentials. She's been in human resources, so HR, for the past 15 years, almost 15 years. And for the past 5 years, she's been in the benefits unit. So very knowledgeable when it comes to that. She's learned a lot from corporate America, and she plans to transition full-time into entrepreneurship with all of that knowledge. She owns AB Financial Pro LLC. You'll see her pop up at different events. You'll see her all on social, and I love her presence. She's also an insurance broker. As a licensed insurance broker, she specializes in different forms of life insurance and financial planning, health insurance, and also in Medicare plans. So my most favorite financial professional, financial coach, retirement and income, medical plan specialist, all the titles that she gives. I'm going to go ahead and hand the floor over to you.
Girl, oh my God.
I love you.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
I love you.
Thank you so much, Bri. I really appreciate it. And I have learned so much from you too, as well as a financial advisor. So definitely, I love connecting with you and learning from you. Like from the beginning, we both said no competition. We are what? We're not competing. We are collaborating. So collaboration over competition. And I love that. So today I'm going to basically talk on the topic, financial self-care, tips to eliminating money anxiety. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Make it easy. Let's see share. Are you the main host?
Oh, can you hear us? I'm not the main host.
Okay. We'll see if she can hear us, because I did create a PowerPoint that I would like to show. If not, I'll just go over it. I don't know if she can hear us.
If you're not able to share it, do you mind maybe sending us a PDF version that we can post in the group afterwards?
Yeah, absolutely.
That way we know they still get that content. That's awesome. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll do that. All right. So basically, I'll just go over it. Where does your money anxiety come from? So many of us, we didn't come from a financial wealthy background, right? Our parents, our grandparents, whoever raised us, probably didn't really have much knowledge on how the money game works. A lot of them had money underneath the mattress, in the freezer, stuff like that, not places that it's actually going to grow. And there was always like a mental scarcity or scared of not having enough. And that often, can be transferred to us, because that's what we learn. We learn, where did you learn your money habits from, your money education from? It's not going to be from school, I'll tell you that much, because elementary school, middle school, high school, they don't cover financial literacy. So a lot of our money habits come from where we grow up from, where we come from. So today I want you to just think about it. Ask yourself, or write this down. How old were you when you first learned about money? Was it for candy, 25 cents for, a lollipop, or was it, when you were older? What age was your first time that you actually thought of, oh, if I have this, I can get this. I can transition 25 cents into a lollipop. I can transition 25 cents into a bag of chips. What age were you? And then who taught you about money? And what was their relationship with money, right? Were they afraid of money? Were they like, oh, we don't have money? Did they always say, we don't have money for that? We don't have money for this. We don't, are those the people that you grew up with? And if you didn't, then great. Who did you get your money habits from? And are your money habits, are they also your money habits? So the way that they viewed money, is it the way that you view money, or is it a similar way that you view money? Because and if not, then what has changed that? What made it change from how they viewed money, right, to how you view money? Did you guys take courses? Did you read books? Like educate yourself in financial literacy? So those are some questions for you to have, because I'm gonna ask you some more questions later on. So the first thing is understanding where your money habits came from, right? And how do those money habits, I'm trying to view y'all's screen and then also view my PowerPoint. So if you see me going like, let me see if I can make this a little bit better for me. Okay, there we go. So understanding money anxiety. First is, how does it feel? What does money anxiety feel like to you? Often money anxiety can manifest into similar symptoms such as regular anxiety disorder, which is tension, worry thoughts, depression, insomnia. You get angry about things that make no sense. But where is that anger really coming from? If your kid asks you for $1, you're like, no, I don't have $1 for that. Like, really, was that really necessary? Right? No, where is that? Maybe it's like you're worried about not having enough. Are those worries really yours? Do you truly not have enough? Or is it that you've been programmed to believe that you don't have enough? Right? And then people might avoid checking their finances, imagine scenarios where they don't have enough money, get, hyper vigilant about tracking their money, every obsessive compulsive disorder that you can imagine when people are having money anxiety. How can we fix that? The first way that you can fix it is to detect it, right? If you know that you're having these problems, now we have to figure out a way, how can we fix it? Understanding where it comes from is the first way that you can fix it. So did it come from childhood experiences? Did it come from your environmental factors? Does it come from your current source of income? Maybe your employment, with everything, the pandemic happening, us constantly thinking that we're not going to have enough, right? Because we don't know what's happening in the world. The world is, every day is something new is coming up. There's always something new, like, oh, we're going bankruptcy this on October 16th, we might file bankruptcy the federally, you know what I mean? And it's like, what does that mean for us? So Just so much is happening. And then it's like, where is it coming from? Where is your money anxiety coming from? That's the first trigger. Does it come from personal relationships, medical conditions, previous traumatic experiences? Just trying to figure out, where does it come from? Because that's going to be the first step that you're going to need in order for you to figure out how can you fix it. So when you understand where your money anxiety comes from, now you have to take the necessary trouble to reprogram how you feel about money, how you view money, right? Like any relationship, taking the time to understand how it works is the key to winning. So if you're in any relationship, or a relationship with spouse, children, parents, whatever, understanding what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses, how can you communicate with those people? It's the same way with money. Understand, how can you make your money work for you, right? What other sources of income can you acquire with the tools that you already have? And I'm going to give you guys some really good tips on that. And then one of the best things that we can do is create a relationship, a healthy relationship with money, by understanding that it isn't something that you need to fix. It's not like fixing a problem. It's more as building a structure for longevity, right? It's not something where you're just going to fix, okay, I fixed it and move on. No, this is something that you're constantly going to grow with, constantly going to have to adjust, constantly going to have to learn more from, because it's a longevity relationship that you're going to have with money. And then take the time to understand how you can make money work for you. And remember, this is a lifelong commitment. So if you have any setbacks, right? If you have any failures in your goals to attaining a certain amount of money, or saving a certain amount of money, or paying off a certain amount of bills by a certain time, if it doesn't work out that way, that's okay. What did you learn from that? And continue to go forward, right? Continue to educate yourself until you feel like you are the expert over your financial goals, right? Because I can be, I help people with their finances, but my financial goals are different than yours. So the way that I think is going to be different than how you think. And my job is to help you try to see the light in your goals, right? But you have to understand, what are your financial goals and how can you continue to grow towards them, right? So even when you have setbacks, even when things don't work out the way you plan, okay, I didn't get to pay off that hospital bill on time. How can I move around this? Or I didn't get to pay off the student loan on time. What calls do I have to make to move around this, right? It's always trying to figure out another game plan to the same goal. So your direction might change from time to time, but your goals will continue to be consistent and to be the same, right? Which is financial success, or financial, debt free, whatever your success looks like to you, it will continue to be the same goal until you get there. You might change your route a couple times, you will continue towards the same goal. So tips to eliminating money anxiety. Number one, it's going to be to create, of course, you guys all know this already, create a budget, stick to it. Okay, Abby, but you just said that there's going to be situations that are going to come up and they're going to deter me from my goal. Okay, I get it. Yes, a hospital bill may come up, your car, got jacked up on your way to work, whatever it is, right? Yes, but you're going to also, in your budget, you're going to have money put aside towards these situations. So you're going to have your budget is going to be your, your rent, your bills, your food and all that. And then you're going to have a set side amount for the unexpected. And then you continue to put money towards that every month. So when something big comes up, you have the funds for it. Now, let's say there's something big that's like super big and you don't have the funds for it. There's always ways to make it work with your budget. If you have a hospital bill, you can call the hospital, you can make payment plans. If you have your car jacked up and if you have a credit card, you can put it on a credit card and make payment plans towards it. I don't suggest for you to put a lot of things on a credit card if you can't afford it. Like my thing with credit card is, do I really need it? Do I really need this? And am I going to be able to pay for it within the next 3 months? If not, do I really, really need this? So it's always to have like a game plan with your credit card, which we will go further into that in a minute. But taking the time to understand where your money is going and spending and saving, and what your spending and saving goals are necessary to creating your budget. And then connect with a financial advisor. A lot of financial advisors can give you a free consultation and ask them, what is a Roth IRA account? A lot of people talk about opening a savings account. Okay, savings account are great if you're just wanting to put like wanting to put money and be able to take it out quickly when necessary. If you're wanting to build a savings account for longevity, you need to do what the experts do. Ask your financial advisor about a Roth IRA account, 2 words, compound interest. If you don't know what that means, that basically means that the money that you put in there will grow with interest, as well as the interest is growing on the money that you're putting in there. So your money is growing 2 ways, with the main money, the main funds that you put in there, and then with the interest that is growing with that main funds. So compound interest, ask your financial advisor about it. Don't become complacent with your income. Continue to find ways to make money, which this goes back to defining what your skills are, right? Know what your skills are. If you're great customer service, if you're great at writing blogs, whatever it is that you feel like you're good at, find those, write those down. And there's 2 websites that you guys can check out. One of them is called Upwork, upwork.com. And the other one is called Fiverr.com, which is Fivver.com. And you guys can create your own personal account. Put on there what are your, it'll list a bunch of different things that they're always looking for. And then you can be a contractor. You can make side money this way. This could be more money that you can always add to your steady income, whatever your steady income is, right? So always try to find new ways to make your money work for you, which is Roth IRA account, index universal life accounts. Index universal life accounts are great because they have permanent life insurance, but then they also have that Roth IRA. It works as a Roth IRA. So it's a great tool to have tax-free retirement, compound interest, and permanent life insurance. And then of course, if you do have a full-time job with an employer, and they offer 401k contributions, I suggest for you to go to the max amount, because they're giving you free money. If the employer is contributing to whatever your max is, if it's 7%, 3%, whatever it is, go to the max amount. That's free money for you. So that's a great way of building wealth. Create a will. I know that a lot of people are like, well, I don't really have that much money. I don't really care about a will. It is so important, guys, to create a will, especially if you're working towards financial success. Because if one day something was to happen to you, like not that you passed away, but you're still alive, and there's nobody who's going to take care of your assets, who's going to be determining who does what. You want to have a will. In rocketlawyer.com, you can do it for $1. So rocketlawyer.com is a great tool to use. I literally use it. I use it for everything. I use it for my business planning. Like, there's so much stuff in there that you can get for free. Well, not for free, for $1 a month. My subscription is $1. My first subscription, I think it was like $30 a month. And then I went to cancel. And then they said, do you want to keep it for $1? I was like, oh, absolutely. I will keep it for $1 because I know it was a great tool for me to keep in my back pocket, right? So that's a great tool for you guys to have. A will is so important to determine what you want your financial situation to look like if you can no longer make the decisions for yourself. Okay, so it's a great way to protect your assets. So this is something that I read recently, and I was like, oh, I really like that, which is take a daily money minute. So you know how we're all like, we take our time to pray, we take our time to, manifest the things that we want in our lives, we take the time to speak into existence and all these things, right? Taking a daily moment, and it's called take a daily money moment. So in the morning, check your bank account after you do everything that you need to do. See, sometimes we have things that cleared that we forgot about, right? Sometimes things cleared and we're like, oh man, I didn't know that was going to clear that day. Every morning, just take a minute, check your bank account, see how it's feeling that day. If it's still feeling the way that you remember it to feel, great. You know how to move that day. If it feels a little bit different, then you restructure your day, right? You're not going to go out to lunch if you know that you don't have money in the bank account, or if you have less than what you thought you were going to have in there. So you restructure your day that way. And I thought that that was super cool. This was actually a tip by the CEO of Alexa Von Tobel. He swears that if you take a money minute every day, it will help you with the longevity of your financial success. So I thought that was pretty cool. Draft a financial vision board. We all have vision boards of cars and houses and all these things that we want to acquire in our lives. But how about have a vision board of paying off this amount of debt, paying off the student loan, and every time that you do it, check it off. You look at it every day. These are things that you're keeping in your frontal. You're always looking at it. You're aware of it. So you're going to be able to adapt according, right? And then adopt a spending mantra. I love that. So pick out a positive phrase that acts like a mini rule of thumb for how you want to spend your money. And for example, ask yourself, is this purse better than a vacation next year? I don't know if this $30 purse is going to be better than I think I'm going to save my $30 purse, like $30 for the vacation, right? Or I only charge things that are $30 or more, right, to your credit card. Think about it as well. If you are charging it, you really need it, right? So that's things to think about. These are just little simple money mantras for you to keep on your phone, for you to keep on, in your reminder frontal, just make sure that you have that in mind. And then the cost per use. I use this a lot. So the cost per use is basically when you go out shopping or you go out or you do some type of financial investment, you're going to think about, is this spot, like for example, a $5 shirt versus a $30 shirt. So a lot of people would think, oh, a $5 shirt is better because it's $5. What is the quality of that shirt? Are you only going to use it one time, 2 times, or are you going to spend $30 on a shirt that you're going to be able to use 100 times because of the quality of the shirt, right? So think about the cost per use of the items, of the products, of the services, even vacation, whatever it is that you're wanting to do. Think about the cost per use of those things. And I think that that's going to help you guys, because it definitely helps me kind of keep myself where I want to be financially. A couple of tips on podcasts to check out. One of them is called Choose By, is a financial independent podcast by Jonathan and Brad. They co-host the Financial Independence podcast, and they discuss vast range financial economic topics through their interview style. They bring a lot of people on their show. But that's just, sometimes we have 15-20 minutes to check out a podcast. That's a good one to check out. The other one is called DIY Money. And they have little quick 15-minute look into everything personal from finance related. So talk about tax implications, marriage, money. Marriage and money is a big thing right there. Debt insurance, and they have a lot of advisors on their show as well. And then this one is by Paula Pink. It's called Afford Anything, Make Smart Choices About Money. And she basically just discusses a lot of money related topics, as well as planning for retirement, and for parents who want to send their kids out to college, different ways of doing that without really having to go in debt. So those are just a couple of tips for you guys. And that's pretty much my spiel for today. If you guys have any questions for me or anything that you guys would like to talk about, feel free. I think it's an open panel now. No questions?
I had to scare my kids. I had to scare my kids before I before I unmute. Oh my gosh. I just want to say, like, Abby, that was so good, per usual. All the gems dropped, right? Like, I don't know, Natasha, I saw you like taking notes. Like, you were like
head down the whole time taking notes.
I'm so glad. I know a lot of these things are common, but sometimes when you hear it, you're like, oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember this, A lot of this stuff is really common knowledge for some people,
Right. That's what I was going to say. I was like, what we think is common because we deal with it every day is not for a lot of people. You know what I mean? You don't realize how many things we don't learn growing up. You know what I mean? So even for you to like start from basically like from beginning to end, you started from before financial stability all the way into giving the steps until can become financially stable, leading into financial wealth. So leading into that retirement planning, like I love how you implemented each step. So that was something for me. I'm like, you go, girl.
Thank you, girl. I appreciate it.
So Abby, I do have a question, because I love that you touched on the understanding that we have a relationship with money. And I'm just wondering if you can expand on that a little bit, because sometimes I've heard people say it, but I don't know if it always resonates with people about what does it mean to have a relationship with money, because we obviously want to have a healthy relationship with money, but what if we don't know what that looks like?
Right. Well, I'm glad that you asked that, because I actually did a little, I have a sisterhood accountability group that Bree was part of, and the topics for this past week was defining your winning hand, right? So how can you play a game when you don't even know how can you know what your winning hand is when you don't even know how to play the game? So that goes back to this. If you don't really know how money works, how can you define a winning hand in it, right? How can you have a steady and strong relationship with it? For me, I feel like the first thing that you need to do is figure out how much do you know of money. So if you don't know nothing of money, thank God for YouTube. Now there's a lot of YouTube videos. There's Udemy Academy, which I don't know if you've ever heard of that. The Udemy Academy is a great tool because there's a lot of fun. If you want to learn anything of anything, Udemy Academy is a great tool. You have a lot of teachers in there, and literally like $15, $20, you can get a whole course, 100 videos on a
sale day.
Yeah, a specific subject. So they just have what was the other one, Bree?
As far as courses?
No, what did you just say?
Oh, I said catch them on a sale day.
Yes, I'm telling you, Udemy Academy is. So I think that the first thing that you need to do is try to understand how much do you know of money, right? And once you understand where your foundation is of money, who do you want to be like? What do you aspire to be? Do you aspire to be debt free? There's a lot of advisors out there that can give you steps on how to do that. They will sit with you. They will go over your budget. I feel like the first thing is figuring out where you stand, your foundation. Second step is figuring out where you want to be. Who do you need to talk to get there, right? Building a game plan and then sticking to it. So get with a financial advisor, get with a coach, somebody that can assist you, that you trust, right? You don't want to just talk to anybody either, because a lot of people just, unfortunately, people sometimes don't want the best for you. It is what it is. A lot of people out there are going to do what's best for them. So they might tell you whatever they think is going to help themselves. So you got to go with someone that you trust, maybe somebody that has worked with other people that and just be sure that whoever you get your advice from is somebody who's actually knowledgeable in it. Create a game plan with that person. So if you're wanting to create a game plan on how to get out of debt, create a game plan of that. If you want to create a game plan on how to live tax-free retirement, create a game plan for that. If you want a game plan, whatever your financial goal is, with at that moment, because it will change from time to time. That's part of being in a longevity relationship with money. Like any relationship, it's going to change from time to time, your wants and your needs from that relationship, right? So at one point, it may be to get out of debt, and it's going to be established long-term income, and it's going to be established retirement income. There's so many different ventures that comes with money. So it's first figuring out where you stand, and then figuring out where you want to be. And as it evolves, how can you evolve with it? So I hope that answers your question. If it doesn't.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Do you mind?
I was listening so much, I didn't even realize I didn't respond out loud.
Yeah. Can I expand on that just a little bit? Because, I love money mindset, and I love how you introduced the idea of having a relationship with money. And it is such a big deal. So even with that, I dove into it just a little bit more just to see why we have certain relationships with money. And it is, like you said, it's what you grew up seeing. Mm-hmm. That is the habit that you take on, right? But he's like a psychologist, but he's also an author. His name is John Bowley. And he expanded on this theory of our relationship with money. And what he's like, one thing that he said that stuck out to me was that the way we feel about money is can be directly attached to our relationship with our maternal figure.
Oh yeah.
So like our relationship with our mom
Mm-hmm.
determines a lot of your relationship with money. So if your mom made you feel safe, you know what I mean, or your parents made you feel safe,
Mm-hmm.
then a lot of times you have a safe relationship with money,
Mm-hmm.
right? But if you have, just for instance, like you had a parent, not that they didn't make you feel safe, but they were just like, like go do your thing. You know what I mean? Like they weren't very nurturing. They weren't very like, oh, like I am with my kids. Oh, I love you so much, but they were just like, just go do your thing. Or you have some type of abandonment type issue with your parent. Then with money, it's more like you're afraid it's not going to come back. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean? So you're just like, oh my gosh, I have to hold on to it because what if it doesn't come back?
Mm-hmm.
Or you can get like a little bit irresponsible with it, and you're like, oh well, let me just like spend it because not that it won't come back, but other things didn't come back. So if it doesn't, like life is just what it is, and there was one more attachment, and I can't remember what it was called, but if you had a parent that was completely absent, then your money is out of sight, out of mind. To
Mm-hmm.
me, that's where the poverty mindset comes in, because it's just like, well, I'm just not going to deal with the money. Like I never had it before. I'm never going to get it. I'm just not going to pay attention to it. So
Mm-hmm.
those were like a couple of things that stuck out to me whenever he was relating like our relationships with our parents to our relationship with money and how we treat it, because I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so true, or it can be, it was true for me, in my money story. But identifying our money stories, like you said, just identifying it and learning and understanding that you can change your money story. You can change your relationship with money. So I'm going to stop because I don't want to keep
No,
going.
that's absolutely true. I absolutely agree with you. And I absolutely agree that a lot of the ways that we move in life is due to the way that we were raised. I mean, the ways we carry ourselves, our tones that we speak with, the way that we hold our presence, a lot of it has to do with the way that we were raised, and either choosing to want to live a different life from it, right? And choosing
Right,
to want to adjust who you are and adjust your mindset. That's why I said the needed, not so good, like not so exciting type of situation when you have to retrain yourself, right? It's like
right,
it's a necessary trouble, really, because nobody wants to really do that, because it takes work. It takes a lot of work to reprogram the way you think about certain things, and especially money, right? Especially
right.
if you come from a poverty background. I mean, I come from a poverty background. I grew up in Chad Brown Projects, born and raised Providence, Rhode Island, and that was, my mom, she had to raise 9 of her siblings. I come from a broken home. My father was in drugs. So there was a lot of inconsistency. There was a lot of turmoil. And that's how I grew up, so I didn't really trust, money. I never really even cared for it, to be quite honest, because I didn't grow up with it. So I didn't have a love relationship with it. I was just like, if it's there, it's there. If not, we'll figure it out. Like that's just the way I would roll. And I think that coming from that background has set me up that I am not scared if I do lose a little bit of money here or there, because I understand that I can make it again. I'm still here. As long as I'm here, I can make it again. You know what I mean? And that's part of the money game. That's part of having that long-term relationship with money. That, like, for example, in a relationship with a spouse, there's going to be days you guys are not going to like each other. That's just the way it is, right? There's going to be days that you guys are going to get on each other's nerves and things like that. But long term, you guys both have the same goals. You guys both still have the same love, respect, whatever it is that keeps you guys together. So those days that you guys don't like each other, you guys can bounce back from later on, right? So that's the same way with relationship with money. There's going to be days that there's going to be an unexpected bill and you're going to be mad, right? Because now you're going to have money that you were planning for something else that you're going to have to move over here. But the long-term goal is still going to be financial success, financial freedom, debt-free, retirement, tax-free retirement. That's still going to be your long-term goal. So even if you have to make adjustments through the process, right? That's okay, because your long-term goal is still there. So it's just understanding that, you know?
Right, right. And it's so funny because I feel like this is like one of those topics that you and I can talk about all freaking day.
For
Like once we get on it, like we don't stop. We just
yeah. Talk about money, family, husbands, kids. Okay.
Self legacy.
That was awesome.
Because I feel like because when you don't come from it and you start understanding it, then you become passionate about it. Yeah. So then it's like you want people to understand where you're understanding, because you understand that this is not, like I said, some things are common knowledge and some things you go through it, right? Some things is common knowledge that you hear about, whatever. Until you don't experience it, until you don't feel it, you don't understand it. So then once you understand it, and it's like light bulb, and you become like super passionate about it. You want to tell people, you want to talk about it, you know, but then it's like a lot of people are not ready yet. They're not there in their lives. And you have to understand that as well. You know, you can't pressure people to wanting to do things that they're not ready for. Right. Everyone's time will come at the right, you know, at their right time. And that's something that I've learned to understand, because as I have become better with my finances, I want to talk to my family about it. I'm like, listen, you know that there is this, you know, you can put money here. You know that this is what the rich people do. They're like, okay, all right. Yeah, like, I know. You know, and it's like, well, you know, you can only do so much. But the thing is this, you're putting the information out there, and whenever they're ready for it, they will come to you and ask you, right? When they're ready. Right. The best thing I think for me to do, and something that I've been trying to live by, is just planting the seeds of information, and having people reach out, like check for themselves, look it out for yourself, see that I'm not lying to you, right? Because when it comes to money and it comes to distrust, one of the things that you said about maternal and parental, a lot of it has to do with distrust. So people don't trust it. They don't trust money. And then if you're talking about money, now they're looking at you like, I don't know if I can trust you, right? Because if they already have a direct distrust with money, and you're there talking to them about money, automatically that distrust is going to be there. Yeah. So it's just understanding what people are in their lives and respecting it, and then moving from there.
That's awesome. Abby, one of the things I wrote down in capitals and put like exclamation marks was compound interest, because I was just having a conversation in the weekend. I'm like, I need to work smarter, not harder. And that compound interest is about working smarter and not harder. And so I love that you offered some ideas about, yes, a lot of us, you know, we go to a job, we make money, you know, we trade some time for money, but it's like, and you stress, you don't look at different ways to make money. You mentioned Upwork, you mentioned Fiverr, like having multiple streams of income, I think, is so key. And it's not about working 24/7, right. But it's being wise. And right. I love that some of it, like compound interest, isn't even about you having a job. It's just about how does your money make money. So if there's anything else you want to say about how to have our money make money, please do, because I love learning about that stuff. Because that's my next goal, is to have my money make money so that I can sit while it's making money.
So like the first thing, it would be if you have an employer and they have 401k, I would highly suggest for you to contribute towards that to the max that they're contributing. And then whatever extra, put it in a Roth IRA account. The reason why is this: a 401k, money that you're putting in, when it comes out, you will pay taxes on it. Okay. So the difference between a 401k and a Roth IRA is that the Roth IRA, you're paying your taxes now. So think about it, longevity, taxes are going to go up, things are going to increase, right? So your taxes will increase with the funds in your 401k. So as you're touching it and as you're taking that money out from your 401k, it will touch taxes. But 401k also does play with compound interest, and it plays with the stock market, you know, so it really depends on how you want to view a 401k. I always say, if you have an employer that's giving you free money, go into the max of that free money. Okay. Then whatever you have extra, whether it's 1%, 2%, 3% of your income, put it into a Roth IRA account. A Roth IRA account, money you're paying for taxes is now. So when you take the money out, when you're in retirement, it will be tax-free money. And that's the money that you're putting in, and the interest is growing with the primary money, and the interest will both be tax-free as you're taking it out. So that's what I feel like it's one of the best ways for you to play with the compound interest. And then if you have life insurance through an employer, I would say, think about that. Okay. Because your life insurance, right? Okay. So I don't know if you guys saw the Fat Joe series that he said, the prices of today are not tomorrow's prices, or yesterday's price is not today's price, right?
Yeah.
That is exactly the truth for life insurance. Okay. The older you get, your life insurance will increase. Okay. When you are younger, and this is the thing, people think of life insurance and they only think of death benefits. If you're looking for a life insurance for only death benefits, maybe you want to look into a final expense or a term policy that maybe is 30 years. And even with the 30-year term policy, it's going to renew in 30 years, and then whatever age you're then, it's going to increase from there. You know what I mean? So I would always say, if you're looking just for like a final expense policy, if you're looking for just a death benefit, look for a final expense policy. If you're looking for insurance that is going to have living benefits, meaning money that you can take from, you would pay like an interest. You can take a loan out of this, right? Like a lot of permanent policies, like an IUL, it would be considered a permanent policy. A whole life policy would be considered a permanent policy. And these are monies that you can take from to use towards whatever it is that you need, because you can get a loan from it. And this is money that it's not taxed. Okay. And then also with the IUL, it has the part of compound interest, the retirement income part, but then it also has the permanent life policy. So as the compound is playing, guess what happens? Your life insurance will increase and your retirement income will increase. So I actually just did a policy recently for one individual. She was 25 years old, great health. She runs marathons and all that. She's gonna be paying $100 a month for a permanent policy. No, I'm lying. It was $176 a month for an IUL. And by the time that she is 65 and she retires, she's going to have over $3 million in the account. And she's only would be contributing, I think it was like 100,000 and some change. But the reason why she would have almost $3 million in the account for her to take from as tax-free retirement is because of compound interest. The interest just plays. You know, so that's money that you're not thinking of. It's just, you're just paying whatever you're paying for your life insurance, your permanent life insurance policy. And guess what happens? If she outlives, she's 120, it actually went out to 120. So I don't know if she's going to outlive 120, but let's say she did, she would still make over $3 million in what she invested into that policy. So it's just thinking of ways when you're talking about compound interest is, I don't know, Bree, if you have something else you want to say, but I definitely say IULs, full life policies, and then Roth IRA accounts. Go ahead, Bree.
Like, yeah, anything that builds compound interest. I have more of the mindset of by the time invest the difference for obvious reasons. But I always try to teach my clients to be self-insured. So what can you do to make money to make sure that you insure yourself, right? Because for so many reasons. First of all, life insurance is to pass on to our families. So if you have $3 million, I mean, not saying that we're all going to be millionaires, but if you have $3 million, if you have a way to, and like if you work with a financial advisor, preferably somebody that has like a Series 65, then they can help you accumulate interest at like 12% with your Roth IRA. Like you'll be making, it's crazy the amount of money that accumulates over a certain amount of time. You know what I mean? So I don't know, like I said, we could talk about this all day. all day.
I would definitely say to Natasha, if you haven't spoken to a life insurance agent or a financial advisor that can sit with you and go over, because remember I said my goals are different than your goals.
Right.
So you have to sit with somebody and see where you're at now and where do you want to be, and then have them help you structure a way to get there. You know, so and honestly, if you speak to like a life insurance broker or a lot of financial advisors, they give you free consultations. You know, so just sitting with them and picking their brain for your specifics.
You're in Canada, right? So I don't know if those.
So I was translating in my head like what a 401k there is, what it is here, and
Okay.
don't worry. But
Okay.
I actually, because
Yeah, let me just say this. Everything that I
terminology is
shared
different.
is
The funds
US
are similar.
based.
Sorry?
Disclaimer.
Let me just clarify. Everything I said is US based.
Listen, I might be the only one right now on. There's people who will watch later, I'm sure, because we do have our Canadian crew, but I'm the only one right now. So I'm like, I can translate in my head, but we have our people we can go to. We got financial people here too. So, and I actually, because I've just transitioned out of where I was working. So this is on my list. Get in touch with a financial advisor. There's lots of things I got to figure out.
Yes,
Excellent.
yes. Roll those 401ks over.
Yeah.
So ladies, let me jump in here. So this has been so awesome. I am so glad that we had Abby. Thank you. Brianna, thank you. I mean, because both of you are experts in this area. This has been absolutely the bomb. So here's one of the things that we need to do. So Natasha, Brianna, if you make sure you write this down, don't let me lose it. In January, we need to do a money Zoominar. All things money. We need, Natasha, we need somebody from Canada because we do have a Canadian base. So I don't know if we can find someone there equivalent to Abby and Brianna. And we need to pull Pastor Q in. She kind of does the same thing. So if we get someone from Canada and the three of you, we need to figure out. So be thinking about it. We'll come together and put something together. And for January, we need to do a money matters, whatever we want to call it, because we have people that are, the comments are absolutely, this is great. So even Yolanda says, this is great. I didn't have true education with money. I'm still learning true responsibility with my money. As I've gotten older, I started out good with savings and then spent it. The great thing is lately when I needed the nest egg, I had it or most of it. Effie says, what happened if you don't live to be 65? What happens to the policy? Does it go to a benefits? But I think she means beneficiary.
Yeah, that's where that will comes into play. That's why I said it's so important to have a will. Even if you don't think you have a lot of money now, if you have life insurance, if you have a Roth IRA account, you want to create a will so that way they know where to put these, who gets these funds. And Rocket Lawyer is truly a great tool for that. It's almost free to do a will, like literally it's $1. So
yeah, there's a lot of conversation. There's a lot taking place. So we just need to go ahead and do this. We just need to put a webinar together. We'll do a Zoominar and we'll plan it. We'll do it for a whole hour. We'll talk all things money. We'll put it together. We'll assign a minimal cost to it, but let's make that happen. So if you guys think about what that can look like and what that should look like, let's put a team together. We'll get all the, what we need to do to make that happen, and we'll make that something that we do for January. It'll be the beginning of the year. And I think it'll be a great time to have it. So let's put our heads together because this has just been, it's so needed. I mean, even when you think that you're, you realize that your money habits have not been right for most of the years, right? And then you start trying to get it together. Yes, Effie says, yes, please do, because I have a lot of questions. So yeah, we need to do a whole session.
Bree, I love your excitement.
Yes, and it's so true because even when you think you're doing better, something happens and you realize that your better isn't even where you thought that it was, and I just had a dear friend who had someone pass away close, and they were talking to the significant other and they wanted to talk about insurance and all these things, and the person still wasn't good about talking about that subject. And then the person passed away, and come to find out they had some insurance, but it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And so what is enough? Let's have those, especially in our communities of color. We just don't like to talk about some things. I tried to have the conversation with my boys And this was a few years back, and they were like, Mom, you're not going anywhere. We don't want to talk about it. We don't want to have this conversation. And I had to really coax them into it. I had to start working on it, because I didn't realize how their minds were so, they weren't ready to talk about what happens when I transition from this life. So they didn't want to talk about insurance. They didn't want to know what I had set up and didn't have set up and what was going on and where they just did not want to have the conversation. So I had to start working on them, and I had to start dropping little things, and I had to start doing some stuff. And it wasn't until my father passed away and then his brother passed away, and they saw what I had to go through with them, that they got ready to have the conversation. So we've had it, okay? And we continue to have it. I have to continue to have it every day. I have to continue to talk to them about what I want, what I have set up, what I don't have set up, what I'm working on, and what they need to be setting up for their families. You don't wait till you're, 50, 60, 70 to set stuff up. They're in their 30s. They should have things set up right now. But I'm having to force the conversation because we don't like to have it.
Right.
And so and especially you that are in this field, we're going to have to force it because people want it, they need it. It's just uncomfortable.
It is.
And we have to make it comfortable for people, that it becomes a great conversation to have. It's all about legacy. I talk about building legacy. This is the foundation of building legacy. If you don't have this foundation laid, there is no legacy.
Right.
And I need for people to hear that. If you don't have this foundation, everything Abby and Brianna have been talking about, if you don't have this foundation, all your other work is in vain. There is no legacy. And it's huge. It's huge. So thank you. It has been so informative. I mean, you guys have I had typed it in. I was like, Abby just dropping nuggets everywhere. And so it's really, really good. And it's so needed. I do wish upon everybody. I love when you talked about the money minute.
Yes.
That was like so great, because I do that and didn't even have a title for it. I didn't have a name. Now I can say, I take a money minute. Because in the morning I do, when I grab my device, the first thing I do is I check my investments to see how they're doing in the market. I check my accounts. I'm looking, like, I do all this stuff. I do that before I even get out the bed. That's probably bad. I probably shouldn't say that, but I do that before I even get out of my bed in the morning. It's like, I want to know where my investments are. I want to know, what cleared, what didn't clear, where everything is at. And then I can free my mind and get on, with my day. If I don't check all of my accounts, I almost have, I feel like I'm missing something throughout the day, and my day is kind of off. So it's the first thing that I do. Being debt-free is huge for people. It was probably when I turned 40, I promised myself that I would be debt-free. And the only debt that I carry is my mortgage. That's it. And I am paying off my house. I am determined to have my house paid off. December is my heart's desire, Lord. You hear me? If it's not December for some reason, first quarter 2022, this bad boy has to be paid off. And then I will totally be debt-free. And I don't mind sharing that, because I want people to know that it's possible. And there is a peace of mind that comes when you're debt-free. There is, I tell people, I want my overhead to be in such a way that if I get strapped, I can go collect cans and pay my bills. Literally. And if you don't have a lot of debt, you can do that. My overhead is minimal. It's my mortgage payment. And if I told y'all what my mortgage payment is, y'all would be mad. It's my mortgage payment. And my mortgage payment is a very, compared to what most people are paying these days, my mortgage payment is nothing. But that's my only debt. And there is a peace that comes when you don't have that debt looming over you. It just it hits different. Can I say that? It changes how you move and what you can do and what decisions you can make and how you can handle some things. And when tragedy hits, you don't have to lose your mind because you don't have all this debt that's looming over you. It is absolutely a huge thing. So set your financial goals and adhere to your financial goals. Don't just set them and leave them. Set them and adhere to them. Make them a priority. Your financial goals should be just as important as your physical goals, as your relationship goals, and all these others. You got to make it a priority. It hits different, and it's just a beautiful place to be in. And it, make investments, make sure that you're investing. One of my rules of thumb is where I spend my money, I try to invest. So when my boys made me join the Apple family, you know what I did? I went and invested in Apple. Okay. I was using Zoom even before the pandemic. I do a lot of my coaching across Zoom with my travel business. I was doing a lot of my building over Zoom even before the pandemic. So because I was using Zoom so much, what did I do? I went and invested in Zoom and got my stock. If I was a coffee drinker and I was going to Starbucks, you would best believe I would have stock in Starbucks. But I'm not a coffee drinker and I don't go to Starbucks. But wherever I'm spending my money, I also invest and I find those investments. Property is a great way. My property has tripled in value over the last several years. That's all about building your financial portfolio. So you all, that's my 2 cents. I had to come in at the end. I had a lot of stuff going on, but I wanted you to know I was listening. I was paying attention. And this is an important topic. And I'm so glad that you all made the decision to address it. And Abby, thank you for coming on and taking the lead to discuss it. You did a fabulous job, and I can't wait for whatever we decide to do in January. And I'm going to turn it back over to Natasha and Brianna.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, by the way. I appreciate it.
I'm turning it over to Natasha. What you got for us, girl?
I'm going to give some updates. So for PWEN, every month there is, I don't know how long you've been doing this, Charisse, but every month there is a Secure the Bag featured business. So for October, it is Dr. Jamila Williams with her business, You Are Able, where they strive to shift mindset around money. How appropriate. We're talking about relieving money anxiety. So just complete congruence with that, because our featured business of the month, looking at how to shift money mindset, which is awesome. We have our chapters. Just want to highlight, we've got our chapters in Tulsa with Jennifer Brown leading that, Effie Clark for Vegas, Yolanda Gilliam for Phoenix. I'm doing Toronto, Canada. So now we've gone international. Yeah. And of course, last but certainly not least, the lovely Charisse El Irby, who is the founder and chief empowerment officer. And we're looking for managing directors for Little Rock, Arkansas and Nashville, Tennessee. Charisse, is there anywhere else we're looking for directors? I just want to make sure I caught it all.
Brianna almost fell out of her seat. She's like, what?
I know.
Y'all know I just came back from Nashville. Let me
Did you?
Yeah.
I love Nashville. I fell in love with Nashville many years ago. And we have a couple partners there. We should have connected y'all.
Oh my God. I love it.
Yes, it's loving it. We have to start taking a bite out of Texas. Texas is so huge, but we have partners spread throughout Texas. So we are going to be looking at where we start our chapters to at least begin to start in Texas. And we're going to have to look at how we're going to formulate in California, because we have people spread from the south part of California to the north part of California. I mean, so, from San Diego to Sacramento and everything all in between. So we're going to be so we got our work cut out for us. But what a wonderful work to have. It's exciting We have a young lady from Uganda who is very interested in making a connection between, PWEN and Uganda, Nigeria. So we have some really fabulous places and opportunities that are ahead of us. So come and be a partner. We invite you to come partner with us. We have our Carrie J. Gray Scholarship Program. We were just able to help with a year of dorm expenses for one of our scholarship recipients, and then we are looking at bringing on probably 1 to 2 more. So we have some fundraising that's going to be coming forward. We have Giving Tuesday that's going to be coming up in December. So everyone's going to hear more about Giving Tuesday. And we just have lots of juicy things that are happening within PWEN, because it's a movement.
I got more on my list, girl.
Yes, I'm going to turn it back to you.
It goes on and on. We cannot miss the NLEAD Academy, right? So awesome, the NLEAD Academy that is providing women across the globe with training resources to take you to the next level. Ladies, check that out, become a partner, get involved. There's the trainings, just there's so many, I can't even begin to mention all the stuff. There is in December, for anybody who does not know yet, there is a trip to Kingston, Jamaica, December 2nd to the 6th, 2021. 4 amazing days in the sun. Oh, I can't even, I pause every time I think about it. My mother's Jamaican, so y'all are going to my, what's for me home, even though I was born in Canada, but I still consider Jamaica my home. So I know there's lots of amazing things planned there, including the coffee tour, the rum tour. There's just unbelievable stuff going on. Going to be amazing time. Check out the blog on the website. There is just, when you go to PWEN, and I didn't even mention it, mypwen.org, you can look there for just to get updates on what's happening, to become a partner. There's just so much that you'll see on the website. Go there, take your time, get involved. You will not regret it, ladies. And now, Sharice, if there's anything else you can add, I'll give it back to you.
You did well. I think the only thing that I'll say is that we have had we've had 6 women who have graduated our certified coaching program, which is absolutely fabulous. You all, I'm just coming back from DC, so I'm running a little behind, but we're opening up our classes for October. We have 5 women that we want to help scholarship. Normally the coaching program is $2,500. We're going to help 5 women. We're going to scholarship them so that they're only paying $249. And for our entrepreneurship training program, we're looking to scholarship 5 women in. So if you're an entrepreneur and you want training, you want to take classes, you want to take classes about budgets and financing. You want to take classes about cybersecurity. You want to take classes about administrative procedures and how to build a succession plan in your business, sales, marketing, branding. We have over 52 courses in our entrepreneurship training program. So if you're an entrepreneur, you want that additional training, we got you, and we want to be able to assist you. So you're going to hear more. I'm going to do some lives about that. But otherwise, Natasha, you nailed it. Thank you so very much. Fabulous. Coach Bree, turn it over to you.
Yes, we're just going to wrap it up. I am going to add one thing. That entrepreneurship program is no joke. So if you really want to dive into it, if you want to learn organization and all of the things that come with being an entrepreneur, because if you just jump into it, no knowledge about anything, you're going to get overwhelmed. That entrepreneurship training that is in NLEAD is no joke. It will prepare you for this entrepreneur life. Okay. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm going to drop it, let it marinate. Okay. And I really want you guys to look into all the things that NLEAD has. I thank you so much, Abby. Sharice, thank you for being an amazing leader. We love you. We appreciate you. All the things. You are a light in our world, girl. So we love you. Until next time, I have the date up and I put it down. I'm gonna tell y'all, hold on, the 16th. It looks like October 16th, we're gonna be back. for our next Self-Care Saturday. So you guys be looking out for that, be looking out for us. And Abby, we appreciate you for all your knowledge per usual, your energy, your light, all the things. Natasha, thanks for holding it down in Toronto, girl. We appreciate you. And we'll see y'all next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
All right.
Love you, Coach Bree.
Bye.
Bye, ladies.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
See y'all later.